Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 172. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I'm one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra. Oh my. I don't like to talk about the weather, but man, it's been sucky here. The Canadian wildfires are having their revenge on the U.S. Can't go outside, but you know what? That means more time for video games, and we're going to talk about that. But I am very proud to introduce, well, you already know him because he's been on a couple episodes, but he is now the new Player 2 of Co-op Mode. Matt Kennedy, a.k.a. MKen10, streamer extraordinaire, and now my couch co-op partner. How you doing, bud?
Good, Todd. It's awesome to be here. Can't wait to be Player 2. Haven't played a good couch co-op in a long time, so I'm excited.
Yes, and I thought about this. Made me very excited because this is just weird because they just announced that there's going to be a new Darksiders 4 that's coming out. I love the Darksiders series. I think even you were mentioning, hey, it doesn't look like that. Yeah, he does. And I'm like, and I just saw that game is going to have online co-op and also couch co-op, which I don't know how that works. You're going to have like two horsemen. I love it. I love co-op mode because I remember playing Gears of War couch co-op with my buddy Sean Nias, just playing with my son Smash Bros. You have kids, it's fun to play those games, right?
Absolutely. And then I played recently the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, the Cowabunga collection, and Shredder's Revenge.
Oh yeah.
I even have right there on video. That's my steel book. A lot of fun. My son and I love those games. And I want to play. I mean, I've wanted to play. What was the one from the guy that made like A Way Out? What's the new one that came out? You were just playing it not too long ago. Why can't I think?
Are you talking about
Joseph Ferris's game?
Yes. Split Fiction.
Split Fiction.
Before that, it was the game with the divorced couple.
Which I didn't go with, but I wanted to play Split Fiction with my son, but he's only 9. And I'm like, I just don't know if, there's like a lot of shooting and, maybe I was like reading like, on the ESRB, and just knowing that if my wife walks by, she's probably gonna be pissed off that I'm playing this game. So I've held back. So there's not as many couch co-ops, that aren't like beat the living daylights out of each other, but we have a lot of fun. Very cool.
So Matt, we've had you on, we got a little of your gaming history, but I think for people to know you a little bit better, you're an East Coaster, you're a teacher, you've got your family, you just came back from a little road trip, but in regards to your family and gaming, what is your gaming life like? Is it like, are you and the kids into gaming? Is your wife into gaming? How does that work?
Okay. So, I think my wife would tell you that she hung up the controller back in the Super Mario days on the Nintendo. And she's got a pretty funny story. So my wife is actually a classically trained violinist.
Oh my God.
And she went to which I think the school was recently just taken over by Berklee School of Music, but she went to the Boston Conservatory of Music.
Holy
yep. And so she's a concert violinist. That's not her profession. She's a psychologist. So she's a doctor in psychology. So she does everything. I know, right? Wow. I know.
That's going to be really comfortable when you're having an issue with a simple discussion, right?
It's in the eyes, Todd. Yes. If you're watching the video, it's not as simple.
No,
it's not a simple discussion.
If you're blinking, if you're okay.
It's never a simple discussion. No, so she has a funny story where she had to go to a recital. And she was playing Super Mario. And my wife is the oldest of 6 kids. And so mom and dad are getting everybody else ready. My wife is 11 years older than her youngest sibling. So people are probably running around the house like crazy. And I think she just kept going. And it got to the point where I guess all the kids are in the car. And where is she? And she was still there playing Super Mario Bros. And I think she'll and it's her concert, but I think she'll tell you that she got I don't know what she calls it, but her thumbs like hurt. And so she couldn't, like she had a hard time playing or something. So that was the day, according to her, that she hung up the controller. And now that she's a psychologist, she'll be like, oh, our son shouldn't have more than like this amount of screen time. So we're there. My daughter, when she was younger, we got her like a 3DS. So she played like, I gave her like all of my, like, here's Ocarina of Time, here's this game, here's that game. And then, we got the Switch. She was young. She was a little kid when we got the Switch, and she got really into Animal Crossing. So she became part of that craze. And, now that she's older, she doesn't do it as much, but my son is like die hard. And I think it upset. My son's 9. And I think it upsets my wife, but this is a kid, when I moved to Connecticut, so, living on the East Coast, I live in Connecticut, and I would drive to New York for work, and I would take my son to daycare by my job. So I'd have this kid, from like 6 months old all the way up to like about 4 or 5 years old when he was still in preschool, driving with me, 35 miles each way back and forth to New York. And when he got old enough, we were playing Breath of the Wild together. He beat Breath of the Wild on his own when he was like 6. And I said that to Brian on the last episode. But we would drive down, and in his cute little, 4 or 5 year old voice, he'd be like, "Daddy, can we talk about Zelda?" And
did that with my son. It was amazing. So much fun.
For 50 minutes, he would just go off on the recipes he was cooking and the swords that were, and I'm like, this kid's figuring out these puzzles and shrines. I'm like, psychology, schmology. This kid's 5 years old and he's figuring this stuff out on his own. I was like, take that.
It awakens
take that
curiosity. Yeah. And I remember with my son, I discovered Arlo, which if you've seen Arlo, he's basically, he looks like Cookie Monster kind of, but he talks about video games. He loves Nintendo. My son loved it. So we would talk about that. And we would, I remember when he got a Switch, he was 12 years old when the Switch came out. Perfect timing. And he never looked back. And it's
good.
Inquisitive. He loves building. He does all that stuff. So, it's great. So that's amazing. So I'm so excited. My son is now a music major, which is great. That's awesome to hear about your wife. And I think of like Lindsey Sterling and all the different music. We actually have a video game music convention in Minneapolis, which is great. My son loves pieces. Yeah. So it's the only one in the country. And then we also have a 2D con coming out. So my son and I are going to go to. So it's like, great. I love music. He's a trumpet player. So, and you know what? I love the fact that you could just tell your wife, "Hey, honey, could you play this for me?" And I'm sure she just says, "Sure, honey, I will play that for you."
So my son is playing, right? So he's my son next school year will be playing the violin. And so he's pumped because he thinks he has a professional teacher in the house, which he does. Yeah. But my daughter plays the flute and the piccolo. And so she's learned how to play all of the Ocarina of Time songs. And she teaches him how to play it on his recorder. So they'll be doing like the Song of Storms and stuff like that. And I'm like, I know that one.
That is amazing.
I don't play anything, so I suck.
I played trumpet until my sophomore year in high school. I stopped. And then at that point, I'm like, well, maybe I can play taps. So it's great.
I played bass guitar in a rock band because it was cool. And I played in high school, did the talent shows, did the Battle of the Bands, read guitar tablature. You know what I mean? I took a music theory class and I'm like, oh, I can do this. Yeah. And then I gave up. It's like life got busy.
I know. I have all those things. My father-in-law, he collects guitars, electric guitars. He even gave me one. And I've got like a little orange amp and stuff. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Because I thought about playing Rocksmith and doing learning by Rocksmith because I still have
that's
Rocksmith.
Cool.
And you can use the USB connection to the amp. And then it's, long story short, I love Guitar Hero, all those things, but we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do a music episode.
That'd be cool.
Music episode, kind of like all different types.
That'd be real cool.
Yeah. So let's add it on the list. There we go. So, folks, if you have any questions about Matt, his gaming hobbies, his habits, his life as a teacher as well, you'll know how to reach him at the end of the show when we give our socials. So, but with that, we just really need to get into the actual show. Man, I love this because this show is it's about video games, but it's the life we live surrounded by video games. So that means
exactly.
At the almost 9 or 10 minute mark, we're going to talk about our Patreon, who make sure this show happens, pays the bills so we can do the show. So it's a lot of fun. And those Patreon Secret Friends Squad members are our besties, Derek Trevelyan, aka the Figure Dude, Francie, the official hairstylist of the SFU, Xbox Expansion Pass, Mr. Luke Lore, Charlie's Uncle Tim Horan, who gets the podcast on CD. We got the Friends with Benefits, John Sedorf, Brandon Myers, Corey HD, Boss Rush CEO, Matthew Keel, Kurt Krug. We've got Tanya Lee, Chipotle Bear, Famous Seamus, Cam the Movie Man, Jay Newport 007, Darth Prozac, and Freight Conductor. So there you go, folks. If you want to be one of these cool Patreons, as always, you get our shows ad-free and first. And you know what? If you want to check it out, it's pretty cool because you can get your first month free or 50% off your first month. And you can also sign up for just $2 a month and get all the content that you can handle. So with that, if you are not a patron, check it out. Why not? You have nothing to lose. So with that, we get into buy, rent, return. So, Mark, I have theories that this is what actually made him retire, was buy, rent, return, because I made him so mad. Don't know. Nobody's confirmed. But at this point, we're going to see how Matt does. So buy, rent, return this week, Matt. We were just kind of have some discussions about, I always want to know what should we talk about? It's always something going on. So EVO is happening. So EVO is the biggest fighting game competition in the world. Sony owns it now, and they go all over the world. Everything streams, and they typically have core fighting games that are part of the competition. You've got new stuff, old stuff. I laughed because they have Street Fighter 3 Alpha is in it. My son mentioned that, Smash Brothers is the biggest fighting game, but it's not in Smash because Smash is not in EVO because Nintendo says, nope, you can't have our franchise for some reason. It's very weird. Oh, well. So I said, Matt, let's talk about fighting games. Okay, of course, let's do this. So I said buy, rent, return fighting games, and I picked Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken. The pictures I picked were just random. Like I picked the original Street Fighter game for Street Fighter because that's one. It's you should watch videos of the original Street Fighter. It's so bizarre. Then Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which is on the PlayStation. You've got Tekken that is starting in the arcade. Very weird series. So there we go. So those are the games we picked. So Matt, we put this out to the people and they have spoken. So do you want to grab the ones from your Discord?
Sure.
You also have a Discord.
Yeah.
So actually, before we even start, what is that Discord?
So I'm sure we can put a link down somewhere for someone to find it, but it is called the M-Ken Den. And it's where a few of us, it's like I did like a little soft launch a few months ago, and I'm trying to put it out there and publish, get it public and stuff. And a few of us have picked up, and we're talking about anything video game related, anything life related. It's where I post anything about live streams. It's where all of our different friends who have their own content or friends' content can post as well. And it's just, one more corner of the internet that's, a safe place. That's what we want. Just like a place where we could just freely talk and hang out and enjoy the things we love. So with that, I did have a few people that I know, I'm pretty sure, listen to Co-op Mode often. So first up, we have Chipotle Bear, who actually happens to be a Patreon. And he said for him, he's going to buy MK, as in me, Matt Kennedy. I don't know if that's what he meant.
Absolutely.
I'm not for sale, Chapo, but he's going to buy Mortal Kombat. He's going to rent he's going to rent Street Fighter and return Tekken. No reasons why, just straight to the point. Then we have, I believe, Chris from 1H1D, who says he's going to buy Street Fighter, rent Tekken, and return Mortal Kombat. Congrats on the new co-op mode. Thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, awesome. And then Marcus O'Neill, who runs some really cool podcasts and stuff himself. He's going to also buy Street Fighter. He's going to rent, unbeknownst to my parents, Mortal Kombat and return Tekken to the trash. Oh. That's a spicy take because I don't think that's my take necessarily. I think I have the spiciest take of all. So we'll see. And then we've got a couple from the Secret Friends Discord.
Yeah. So this was fun because I put these out here. Some of them when I put this out the post, because I did say takes on fighting games. And I said, is Smash even a fighting game? Which I did that kind of little to poke the bear, just to
I want to have a conversation about that afterwards because I think I have a few. I want to I'm going to play a little devil's advocate as well.
Perfect.
Maybe just to spice things up.
We're just gonna like be opposites, which will be even perfect. So like,
it's gonna be great.
Like, it's when you debate club, like you have to take a position that you may not disagree, but you're gonna be like the most annoying person to basically make it the least attractive thing for anybody else, so you win. So yeah, we will because folks, just a precursor. The bonus round is going to be all about fighting games in our lack of expertise on it, and we'll try to make sure we become experts at the end, or maybe not. So we'll see how it goes. And we love your feedback at the end. So we're going to go with this. So this is funny because Infinite_Rewind. This is Matthew Keel. He's great. He's one of our Patreons. I've known Matt for years. I've podcasted with him. I've met him in Minnesota. His sister's out here. Great dude. Huge music fan. He'll talk to you all day about vinyl. He says, I don't care what anyone says. Smash Brothers is a fighting game. I love fighters in general, but I've not been good at them for a long time. He says, favorites are Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Rival Schools, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Guilty Gear, Persona 4, Arena Ultimax. Shout out to Modern Arc System Works for other properties, including Dragon Ball FighterZ, Grand Blue, DNF Duel, and Toucan. And he says, but get to the chase. I'll buy Street Fighter, rent Mortal Kombat, and return Tekken. I will not be explaining. yes. Never explain your love or your hate.
Which is similar to a couple of the ones that we heard before. So
yes.
Everyone seems to be returning Tekken.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about that. Schloss Ritter. I'm gonna get ultra specific in part. Long story short, I mostly only experienced genres on the SNES. So yes, buy Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the pinnacle of the early series. It was the first of the genre that I was able to beat, granted through shenanigans of disabling blocking. That night is still a lasting memory. Rent Super Street Fighter 2. I enjoyed all the new fighters and the ability to play as bosses carried over from previous revision, but I never was as capable of pulling off all the special moves as I was in MK, except the simple button mashing ones or some hold back 2 seconds, which took way too long to set up. Then return Tekken. I just never get into 3D fighters, especially after the early ones. Being on first generated disc consoles, waiting so long for the menu and stages to load meant I was waiting on loading screens longer than fighting to lose quickly. So there we go. The audience has spoken. I feel like there's some consensus, and one of those consensus I will throw in the trash. I will take their trash, take it out of the trash, and throw it back in their face with a Dragon Punch or something else. So, Matt, what are your choices?
So, I think everyone returned Tekken. Am I wrong?
I will look really quick. Yes. No. Chris rented Tekken. He returned Mortal Kombat. Yes.
Okay. So
yes, I would say all but one kept Tekken.
So actually, okay. So now that I see it, Chris and I are in the same boat. So I'm going to buy Street Fighter. In terms of nostalgia for me personally, Street Fighter is the one. And we go back to the arcade. So it wasn't even an arcade for me. So in middle school, all throughout middle school and early high school, me and a few buddies would walk from school into town. We'd go to our local pizza place, and it was
these places. Grocery stores would all have arcade machines for some reason.
It was the local pizza place, and it had Street Fighter, and it had maybe NBA. The other game might have been NBA Jam, but it had a Street Fighter 2 arcade, right? I think it was
because there was Street Fighter 2, and then there's like Super Street Fighter Turbo. There's so many tournament edition. There's a million editions of Street Fighter
2. You're making my head spin. I don't remember what it was. I just know it was Street Fighter, and you would get a slice and a Pepsi for $2, right? And you'd get a slice and a Pepsi was $1.50, and you'd get your 2 quarters. It was like a student special, right?
Okay.
Like after school student special, and you'd get your 2 quarters, and those would go right into Street Fighter. So we would play Street Fighter when all of our money ran out. We walked over to the local card and comic book shop. Look at Magic cards. I had friends that were into Pokemon cards. I wasn't as big at the Pokemon as they were, but we would be reading comic books until we pretty much got chased out because we didn't buy anything. Nope. And then you'd head over to Stewart's gas station to get an ice cream cone, and you wait for your mom to pick you up on the corner. And so I am going to buy Street Fighter. That game is like forever ingrained in just incredible memories. And then I'm renting Tekken because it's another arcade story, and there's going to be a theme to this. Okay. In the local mall, we had this arcade. Oh man, I can't remember what it was, but man, I miss arcades like that. They don't make them like that anymore.
No.
But that freaking Tekken machine, the line was out the damn door.
Tekken 1?
On Tekken.
Okay.
I don't remember which, like, we're going back to like late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, so then we're maybe Tekken 2, Tekken 3, because Tekken 3 was on the PlayStation 1. That's and I will talk about that. But,
yeah. And Tekken, I know Tekken's an old franchise, but I remember I never really got my hands on the sticks often. It was just watching.
How many buttons did it have? Did it have 4 buttons? Because that was Tekken old school.
That's a great question. I don't remember. Okay. Like I played the machine like 2 or 3 times in my life. I remember it was like a 50-cent machine, not a 25-cent machine.
No. Okay.
But it was all about watching others play it. And man, it was freaking so cool. And then I'm going to return Mortal Kombat. As much as I love Mortal Kombat and I loved being on the playground, trading like I don't remember where I told this story, but it might've been here. We had a printed out picture of Kathy Ireland, like in a bikini. And it was printed from a computer.
Okay.
And and this thing was folded so many times. And on the back of this printed picture of Kathy Ireland was the Mortal Kombat blood code. And that thing,
for the SNES,
for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And we would trade that thing on the playground. And this is going back into like the early mid 90s.
What was the common Kathy Ireland piece? Was it just,
it was just like, I think like as like kids, we like somehow printed that shit out. I don't remember why, but one day somebody wrote the blood code and that paper got passed around forever.
Nobody thought to write it down elsewhere. It's like, why did anybody write it down? You had Xerox machines back then, right?
Probably so smudged by the time anyone got to it. And although it was fun, Mortal Kombat, just to me, got just too over the top. Like the blood and like the spine. Like I love a good gory game and stuff like that. But it was just like, it was too over the top. So it's like, I'd play it and it's like, this is too much. And I always fell off of them. And some of the stories and stuff were cool, but it just never became my jam. So I'm returning Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
I respect Mortal Kombat, but I'm returning Mortal Kombat.
Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit flippity floppity. It's going to be weird. So I'm probably the bizarro selection of this. So I'm returning Street Fighter because I appreciate what Street Fighter does. I played Street Fighter 2 in the arcade. I'm like, this is amazing. Great. I mean, I loved it. I was an arcade kid. Just did and followed them all around. In college, I would go to the comic book shop on Wednesdays because that's when new comic books came out. And then I would go to Pinball Pete's in East Lansing, Michigan, on campus. They had a pinball or an arcade location, and you'd go down the stairs, and it was perfect. They had every type of game you could think about. They get the new stuff. They had the old stuff, Daytona USA. It was amazing. You hear the sound of the arcade. It was amazing. They sold shirts. And they had this is how low rent it was. They had a soda machine. You didn't get cans. You got a cup filled in with nice ice. It's like crumbled, and you get Mountain Dew or whatever. Oh, so great for
that's awesome. Oh man, those are the days.
There, and it's like, so of course, every arcade machine you could still smoke at that time, so people would be smoking. So there's ashes on the arcade machines. There's ashtrays. You have a place to put your soda, so of course it gets spilled on there. So perfect for everybody, and it was great. So I love that so much. I just love that place. It's still operational. Pinball Pete's in East Lansing, it's still there. It's amazing. When I went back the last time, I did get a shirt, so I would love to go again. But yeah, that's my heart, and it's like comics and arcade, bowling alley, all these other places. It was me to see what was the new arcade game and what was it going to be. And yeah, so even my small little town in Metamora, Michigan, there was a 4-way stop, probably a gas station, a post office, and something else. But we had an arcade. This is back in the 80s. Every small town had an arcade. It was so weird. Dragon's Lair, seeing that for the first time was like, blew my mind. I'm like, what is this? So getting back to the point in mind, Street Fighter 2, I really enjoyed. I sucked at it though. So I appreciate what it is. It just didn't hook me that way. Mortal Kombat was the game that I'm like, what is this game? It's crazy, to your point, watching people play, finding out what the codes were. The fact that when you would see on the splash screen that you could send away for a Mortal Kombat comic, I'm like, what is this? And people did. So look that up. And it just came out of the blue. And it was like, oh my God, it's so violent and crazy. And I started playing and I just had a blast. And a couple of my friends, and just seeing number 2 and number 3 coming out, got more adventurous, more crazy. And then 4 went totally like polygonal and horrible game. Just bad. It's like they went off the rails, and they finally reinvented it and they did some other things. But I loved Mortal Kombat, the movie, just kind of those things.
Oh yeah, the music and stuff like that. I love that.
There was the really bad cartoons, and it's like, how do you turn a M-rated video game into a cartoon you watch on Saturdays? But so that is my rent, is Mortal Kombat. Loved to pieces. But I was not like a player on like home systems. Tekken 3 is the game that got me back into console gaming. I got that in college because I wanted to play Tekken 3. I love Tekken so much. And I'm like, this is going to be on a console, and it's amazing. And oh my God. So as a graduation present from my fiance at the time, who I did not marry, and friends, they bought me a PlayStation. So I got Tekken 3. I've loved Tekken ever since. And between Mortal Kombat and Tekken, I love the fact that they've just now turned into this weird series of, like, they have an awesome campaign with over-the-top stories that make no sense.
I know, I love that.
You've got Heihachi throwing his children down a well to survive. They come back and turn into demons. I love Mortal Kombat, how they've turned it into just this crazy, different genres. And we've got the movies now with Carl Urban. So that is kind of where I'm at. Tekken is always my favorite. So I love it. I'm really good at them, which is great. And I just loved what they've done with the series. And the fact that there's Tekken 8, there's Mortal Kombat a billion, and then
right.
There's only Street Fighter 6, which is just so funny. Like, it's been around forever, and there's only 6 versions. It took forever, but yeah.
Oh, that is so interesting. Yeah. I mean, there's been like a million versions of 2.
Well, then 3 took forever. It was still, pixel art and everything like that, and then they went to 4. I remember when 4 was a huge deal, because it's like, oh my God, it's like actually modern looking, and they did like the cell shaded inky look, and that kind of blew things up. But yeah, Street Fighter's never really done the campaign with a story. They've done some weird things. The last one, when you could do like that single player kind of RPG thing, and you could make your players look horrible.
Right. And now like
I made the worst looking character in the world.
You can like walk around like, the city and do like pickup fights and stuff like that. I've always been a Chun-Li fan for,
yes,
I had my reasons, but she was always one of my favorites.
Well, and then you got Street Fighter, the movie, the game with Claude Van Damme.
Oh my God, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I watched that movie one day. Have you seen it?
You've never seen that movie?
No.
It's so terrible. It's like one of those movies that's so terrible it's good. You know what I mean?
It comes back around. It's like, actually, it's good.
And aren't they doing a new movie?
They are, which is
crazy. I feel like I just saw they casted like M. Bison was like the guy who did the Polka Dot Man, and what's that actor's name? David
Dalmatian. He plays also. He's like the guy that says Baba Yaga in Ant-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like a great actor. I'm so curious in how he's going to play M. Bison. I think he's got the role for M. Bison, right?
Well, yeah. And then we had Raul Julia, who is a famous actor, who played Gomez Adams, and he's like, I'm also M. Bison. So no, apparently they're not picking somebody with a body type to do that role.
You're right. I guess they're not really. Maybe Van Damme will come back.
So when that movie comes out, I will watch the original. I will watch the new one, and we'll come back and kind of compare them. We will not talk about The Legend of Chun-Li, one of the worst films ever made.
I don't know that one.
And Chris Klein. Oh God. I will send you a clip after this.
Horrible. Okay.
Oh, well, I think we've decided this. And like I said, when Matt put in the fact that he's throwing Tekken in the trash, I then put a GIF of me throwing him down the cliff like Heihachi.
Yeah. So I can't believe that Tekken haters. And I was never good at Tekken, but it was just, it was one of the best ones to watch. And it might have also been at the time, maybe this cabinet was brand new to to the arcade in my local mall, but you would just get crowds of people. And I remember sipping on sodas because in the mall, you didn't get drinks in the arcade, but there was definitely like a pizza place or something down the
juice
down the hall, and you would bring it in there or something like that. But man, just watching them go at it and just like the same kid running the table, and such an awesome time.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you've never played Tekken volleyball or Tekken bowling, what are you even doing with your life? And when you do that, like they did their side-scrolling adventure game within Tekken 3, it's like a beat 'em up, and there's chicken on the ground. To Power Use goes chicken. I'm like, I'm in. What could be better? Oh wow! If you disagree with me, that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. Moving on to this, we're going to talk about what we've been playing because actually we actually play games, which has been kind of difficult lately because sharing systems and vacations and things like that. GameFly not making me happy, but Matt, because you're a streamer and you commit to it, so you kind of committed to like I have to play a game. So what have you been playing, man? And how's it been going?
Yeah, and when I do stream, because adulting and life and career is, there's no time. There's not as much time for gaming as I'd like. So when I stream, it's only once a week, and so I really do try to commit to rolling credits on a game, and a lot of it has to do with maybe something new that is coming out, but also like my backlog and just getting through games that I missed over time. So I think we talked about it in the last episode, but I am playing Dishonored 2 still. It seems like I get through about a mission every stream. So, which when I look up how long to beat, it's like, oh damn, I think I've pumped like 18 hours into this game. And I think how long to beat has it at like 10. So I'm like really trying, like I'm getting a lot of game overs, but I'm having a good time. And the few of us that are in the chat, and I've had like a lot of lurking going on, which is really cool. And if any of you are listening to this show and you are a lurker in my stream, say hello. But Dishonored 2 has been awesome. I missed my stream last week. My folks were visiting. My parents live in Florida. So, and I even warned them.
Let me guess, Del Boca Vista?
No, they're not they're not on any of the
Seinfeld joke. It's like the resort, the old people's resort.
They do live in one of those 55 plus communities, but it's funny because they're Central Florida.
Yeah.
So they're about my folks are about 30 minutes south of like the Orlando area. And I'm like, why the hell did you pick Central Florida? And my dad,
not Central Time Zone, but just Central Florida.
No, Central Florida. And I'm like, why did you pick like, there's like, it's rolling hill. Like, where's the beaches? My folks are about like 90 minutes from Tampa. And my dad, I'm like, my dad's like, I don't have kids, so I don't need to worry about the school. I was like, and my parents just drive around on a golf cart and don't really leave. They've got 2 championship golf courses in the premise. They've got like pools. They've got like clubhouses. They've got restaurants. It's like all there. So that's where they are. So they came up to visit, and I don't see them often. And I warned my parents, like, I stream Tuesday nights. And they're like, oh, no, that's fine. My parents aren't like, the long ball hitters they used to be. So they're like, my mom's falling asleep by 8 o'clock anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, am I really going to like push my parents out when I see them?
My mom's the same. Like, am I really going to just play video games while she's sitting over there watching reruns of Young Blood or Murder, She Wrote or whatever?
My mom's really into like British TV now. So she's like all about like BBC and stuff like that.
Into the BritBox and
BritBox. That was it. BritBox.
Yes. Was it Father Murphy and this other dude? And they all like manage wildlife and murder. Yeah.
So, I mean, they were here. We actually went out Tuesday night. So, and
nice.
Join the Discord, self plug. But like everyone was like, everyone in the community was like, spend time with your parents. Like, don't be silly. So Dishonored 2, but I rolled credits. I believe the last time we talked, I was playing Death Stranding 2. Rolled credits on Death Stranding 2. I put in a little over 60 hours. I'm seeing people that are putting in 150, like 125, 150 hours. I have a lot to say. I think overall the game was excellent. absolutely excellent. And I think a lot of people said the same thing I'm about to say. If you did not like the first one,
yes,
it's not going to change your mind. Right. It's still the same game, but I just think the story was much more cohesive, and it just, I just felt more excited about what was going to happen next. So like I tried to get like, you know, like, let me get the 5-star rating. Let me deliver every package. And that, I hate to say, wears off fairly.
I heard about a lot of people are like to do like the platinum and other things. It's like, it just feels like in my life now, it's like, I just hate that like platinums and things turn into like not enjoying a game. It just becomes an obligation. I really do not.
Yeah. And
that concept.
Exactly. I'm not a trophy hunter by any stretch of the means. So if I can pull off a platinum, I absolutely will. And but it's only because I want to. And so
or it happens along the way and you did something cool. I'm like, oh my God, I got it. Really?
Like Ratchet and Clank. Right. So, but it was Death Stranding 2 was excellent. It made sense. And I enjoyed it. And now I am on to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Holy cow. Did you play the first one?
I did. So I played the first one on PlayStation 4, which was not easy. I have about 80 some odd hours, I believe. And somebody can fact check me if you want to look up my like my PS profile. But I think I got so far, and I got to a point where I was just smashing my head up against the wall. I could not beat this one boss character, and I quit. And, you know, sometime later I watched a video, and that character, who is hard, there was only maybe like a couple hours left of the game. And I'm like, you know what? I feel okay that I didn't finish it. I did my best. And so like I watched like a recap video and stuff like that, and I'm loving this game, but it is, I'm going to say the same thing about Death Stranding 2 with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It is still that like super like sim RPG. It is real.
It's got like a weird combat system where it's like, it feels like it's more swingy, or people have explained that seems odd.
You can stab, and you know, I wanted to play. I just don't think my piece, like I have a gaming laptop, and I remember the specs on the first one were pretty heavy, I want to say, but I just don't think my laptop would have been able to handle the game. So I got it on PS5. So I'd be interested to see how it is with mouse and keyboard. But a lot of the things that were really hard about the first game, like the devs listened. Like this game is just, it just runs, everything runs better. I don't even know how else to say it.
This is like a middle,
like 14, like late 1400s Bohemia Prague
simulator. Though but it's got a little bit more adventure and elements. You like role playing, like you have to learn how to read and weird things like that.
And the alchemy is real. You're really mixing potions. You really have to look at the books. You really have to, like, right now the shoes I'm wearing are totally have fallen apart. I can't afford to buy new shoes, and the cobbler that I found is too far away, and I finally found some money, but so
you're gonna get an infection. You're gonna step on a horseshoe.
I don't know. It is
a nail.
Yeah, right. It is so good though. Like I cannot recommend it. And I was just chatting with Ains from Season Gaming Podcast, and I'm like, how the hell do I lockpick? Like, why is the lockpicking so damn hard? And he's like, dude, this game, like you gotta like practice. You gotta level up. He's like, you're not good at it. I'm like,
in the middle ages.
Get good. So I had to abandon this easy treasure chest. Easy. It was easy.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm playing. What about you, Todd? What are you playing?
Okay. Before we move on, really quick. So we talked about Kingdom Come. You know, is there like an end goal? What is it, like to become the king? To just not die of like a illness? What is the goal?
To bang as many wenches.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. I mean, but you could probably pick up something from that too. I mean,
I don't know. I couldn't afford the bathhouse, so right now I'm just washing in a trough.
That the horses are drinking out of. Of course.
I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping in hay. No, there is a story, and so the first game I don't think is old enough to spoil anything,
Sure.
but I don't know, spoiler warning for the first game. I'm only going to talk about the beginning part of the game, which
Sure.
I think was like in like the opening credits and stuff of the first game. But you are a simple son of a blacksmith, and it is Bohemia 1495. I don't remember the year. And, you know, Prague, and this war is going on, and this, you know, this king or whatever is trying to take over this land, and your village is attacked and razed, right? Burned to the ground, and you escape with your life. And so
it's a revenge tale.
There is a revenge tale in that first game, and that's where I'll stop there. And in the second game, you are alive, and you've got the same character.
So I'm going to ask you another question. If you had finished the game, would you be able to like import a save and start with that? Or is it just like, Mass Effect 2 where if you didn't play the first game or the third game, whatever, it's just basically choose these things and then you start with your character?
Not even that. So this story is predetermined, right?
Canonical. This is the canonical start.
Right. And think there are events that happen in the second game. And they've gone with a few more RPG elements because there's like a leveling system and stuff like that. And there's speechcraft, there's, you know, combat, there's strength, there's agility, all of that exists. Whereas in this game, through some opening dialogue and some opening scenes, you can kind of choose, I think it was like 3 or 4 choices, of what kind of character. The main character's name is Henry, and you can kind of choose what kind of character you want Henry to be. And all it really does is it gives you like maybe like a bonus point in that one area, but it doesn't like, you know, cuff you to like one play style. You can upgrade him as you want to play. And so it is an RPG, right? There are choices to make. There are decisions to do. There are navigate, like you have to navigate the world, but it is a sim in terms of like how realistic it is. So,
okay.
It's great game, but it's not
interesting.
Not forever. I mean, it's not like, you know, Souls games are really hard. This game is really hard, but in a different,
in a different way. Because it's like, it's difficult because life sucks. And, you know, like you said, you're washing your junk in a trough.
Yeah. And my shoes are basically nothing.
So you're going to have to get some,
and I can't afford another pair.
Your feet in it, wait till it hardens and you got shoes. So that's how we live. And I'm sure you're, you know, so bring this back. So what subject do you teach, Matt?
Oh, so, okay. I am an elementary computer science teacher.
Okay. So not history. So you're not like telling, my dad was a history teacher and then he was also a shop teacher. Then he went to General Motors, long history. So that's interesting. So
I'm
a history teacher in this. I'm showing my kids the game so they can actually see how it was back in the days, right?
Here's a wench. Exactly. So no, not a history teacher. I love history. Not a history teacher at all. I started off as I'm an elementary teacher. I was certified in math, K through 12.
Okay.
I taught 5th grade for close to 10 years. And now for the past almost 10 years, I've helped develop a elementary computer science program. So
that's amazing.
Yep. So I actually have a big unit, video game development, and the kids go through like a mock faux game development process. It always ends up taking way longer than I want it to, but it's an awesome project. The kid, like, they usually love it, and we get so carried away with it. It's like, from, writing stories to designing the characters, they design box art, and they code and program games. I do robotics and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. I remember my son was into that stuff, and it's like, he loved it so much, and that's great. He was supposed to be in STEM and was going to be an engineer, and then he went to music. So like, you know what? we need music teachers. We need people that are involved in science. My wife, she was involved with the program called AVID at our school district. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah. It was basically about helping
Acronym.
kids get, yeah. Yeah. There's more out there. My wife did it, but basically it was all about getting kids ready for college, and especially kids that like first English speakers, things like that. So yeah. My wife is an immigrant from the Philippines, and and my son is, Asian, as we say, white Asian, and he doesn't look at all like me. Hopefully, he has more hair than I do. Oh, moving on, but I'm glad he's going to be a teacher as well.
Cool. Yes. Very cool. Congrats.
So yeah, we're very excited. I'm a supporter of teachers, and I love the good teachers and wish the poor teachers were better. And that's, he's a Taekwondo instructor too. That's what made him want to teach. He loves teaching kids, and he can.
That's awesome
too. Yeah, exactly. So very cool. If you had any questions about these games, Matt is on his Discord. He's on socials. We'll talk about that. But yeah, reach out to him if you have questions about these games, because they're all a little different. So I'm gonna pivot to something a little bit less, I guess, realistic, and that's Donkey Kong Bananza. Oh my goodness! If you listen to last episode, Brian Shea talked all about this, and I wanted to talk about it, but I'm a GameFly member, so people who are of a certain age remember GameFly. They're still surprised it exists. I'm one of the few people that still subscribe to it.
I was on it. I was on it in the beginning. The first game I got was The Saboteur by I think it was an Electronic Arts game. The Saboteur.
Was it Sega? Yeah, somebody made that game. Yeah,
I don't remember who.
Yeah, there was like a World War II kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, you were like you were like an Irish immigrant in World War II. I think it was like Nazi occupied France. And I remember there was like
white elements. I think.
Yeah, it was a cool game.
Yeah,
it was a cool game.
Yeah, very cool. But I stay on it because as long as I still have physical media, there's a lot of games that are not on services that are like the third party, the premium games that are like $70 to $80 a month or a game. So for me, if I want to play these games, it's a great way to try out games for a low price. For $22 a month, I can get two games a month. So Donkey Kong was one I was supposed to get, and it got lost in the mail. So I eventually just went to Costco and bought it for $62. But I will get back into it and get games from them as well, because I can play all these other games that I can't get on a streaming service. So for me, I still have a PlayStation with a disc drive. I still have a Switch, but obviously I have PC. But I have Game Pass, so I get the Xbox games that way. So I find a way to play most of the games through those services, because games are expensive, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that's a way for me to play new stuff and revisit things. So Donkey Kong Bonanza is great. My son has overtaken my Switch 2. He's been playing it. I told him don't spoil it, as I'm trying to do something here. The big TV's over there. He wants to play it with a Switch Pro controller versus with myself. I'm actually doing a lot of handheld, which is great. It's a fun game. It's crazy. It's fun.
Do you have two Switch 2s?
No, I have a Switch 2 and a Switch 1.
Because when you held up your Switch 2, I thought he was playing it currently right now.
No. He's actually at work. He's at my wife and him are at Taekwondo right now. They're working. I'm sure they'll come home soon. But yeah, that's what he's been doing when I'm like on the PC. I'm like, don't spoil it for me. And I'm like, Dad, how am I going to spoil it? It's like they don't even talk. Maybe they say banana and maybe Pauline sings. So so it's a great game. I really like it. There's a lot there. I will play more of it, but I'm kind of I dip into things with gaming. I still have to defeat Doom, the Dark Ages. I really like that game. I still need to play more of that. But what I did play after Donkey Kong Bonanza, if you have any questions, let me know. But really, it is a cool 3D platformer. It's all about getting the bananas to level up and things to do to fight these weird void monkeys. That's all it is. It's an another game.
I heard it's great, and I'm jealous because I did not get a Switch 2, and
I know we're not talking about news, but by the way, Nintendo just raised the prices of all the Switch accessories and the core devices. So they said they're not raising the price of the Switch 2 for now.
I saw that.
Yes,
I saw everything else went up, but the Switch 2 for now.
Correct.
We'll see if I splurge during the holidays. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Sell a couple.
My Switch 1
or sell something else, and that'll be fine.
My Switch 1 still gets a lot of use, and so I don't know.
Yeah, and if you have no interest, I mean, it's okay to make your kids suffer and not giving something new. Parents,
I'm interested.
Denying the children.
I love my Nintendo, but just
it's great. It's a great system. I would have sold the Switch if my son was not going to take it back to college just to play Smash Bros and Mario Kart, which is great. So we're good to go. But yeah, play Donkey Kong Bonanza if you want that Mario Odyssey experience. It's great. But what I did play, and it's on a lot of consoles right now, there's a demo out broadly on almost every system, and that is Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which is...
I want to hear about this because this is the last game I have drafted in my fantasy draft.
Yes. And, fantasy, we should probably talk about fantasy, the fantasy critics draft. We had Marcus O'Neill to talk about it.
Oh, God, he's kicking my ass right now.
I'm in 2 leagues. They both suck. I think I'm in the trophy league and some other league too.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm
getting
doing.
my butt kicked by Marcus.
I'm sure I drafted some like Mario 3D game on the Switch too. Didn't happen. So, so I totally get it because so we'll talk about that. But yeah, Marcus is great. If you want to know about fantasy critic in that type of league, Marcus O'Neill is awesome at that. But yeah, this game is really cool. It's by Sega, and I was trying to find the developer because obviously Sega doesn't develop these type of games. It says it's Lizard Cube. I have never heard of Lizard Cube as a developer, but this game is pretty awesome. So I'm pulling up Lizard Cube's website. Let's see what games they also developed. They were part of the Streets of Rage 4 team. Wonder Boy,
yes.
Dragon's Trap. Yes. So they have basically a heritage of making these awesome hand-drawn games with heritage characters in a really updated format. So I love this. And their website's great because they show these characters doing awesome animated versions. So this game is amazing. And I played the demo. I love it. It is
good to hear. I drafted this game. I'm looking at something that says Shinobi Art of Vengeance is insane. Switch. So hopefully, I mean, it looked, that trailer looked awesome. Right up my alley. So
you got to play it because maybe it doesn't look great in screenshots, but as I'm playing it, the art style is very like, I talked about Street Fighter 4 where it had that like that art, that ink feel. Mm-hmm. This game has it where it's like the characters they have thin lines around them, but they're highly animated, and this game just feels good. The double jump, the attacks, what I'm doing, it's amazing. It's not a roguelite. It's not a Souls-like, which is a lot. I mean, I will be honest, I don't like those series games because I feel like they have taken away all of the games I can play and just said, let's make them harder and less fun.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Is this game more of a Metroidvania? Like
I think it has elements of it, and I'm playing the demo. So, but there I see like a level. So, typically one of the key points in a Metroidvania is you see something, you can't get to it. Whether it has like a green door or something, like there is a place you walk over, and there's like this green surface. I'm like, how am I going to get through that? So that tells me right there, I will get abilities. So you do have like save points. You do have the ability to get these souls that then allow you to buy extra moves. So this feels like more like a Ninja Gaiden like or something like that.
Okay.
Where it's hard, but it's not unforgiving. It's not like you lose everything. Like when I came back,
right.
It basically, that skill you picked up and you bought, you still get that. Now you can go back through there, and but man, the controls are excellent. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's so great.
It is.
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing on the Switch 2. And that's nice. This is the problem I have with the Switch 2. It says it's released for the Switch. So I'm like, is the Switch 2 getting like a better frame rate or something of that? And people said basically it's just a locked version of the same game. So I'm like, I'm frustrated about that because I feel like, and they don't have a good system to tell you if something is coming out to the Switch 2, if there's a benefit of getting it, or is it just a direct port with no benefit? Because I don't like that, right?
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Because I really want the games to take advantage of the Switch 2. That's why I'm excited, because I'm like, I don't want it to be the worst version of a game if I own it. Like if it's on PlayStation 5, I have that. I can play it there. Or on Steam, I can play it there. So, so I'm excited for this game. The problem is we have the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound game, which just came out. So I'm like, a lot of these games, I feel like they're competing. It's the year of the samurai, the ninja with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Then we have Ghosts of Yotai coming out. So it's like, and we got these games. I'm like, there's just too many. It's like, space them out, guys, because there's enough ninja for everybody. Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with a click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Yeah, and I didn't play Odyssey because I have this long running history with Assassin's Creed for sure, and I think I have in my background. Yeah, there's Ezio back there.
I can see him. I can see Ezio,
but
yep.
I was obsessed with the Assassin's Creed games, and I loved Origins. Origins is my favorite modern AC game, for sure. I liked it more than Odyssey, and I liked Odyssey. But then Valhalla, I'm just like 80 hours in, and
when you said Odyssey, I thought Mario Odyssey.
That's a great game too.
Okay, good. Yeah, exactly.
But I just, so with Shadows, it's like, everyone talked about, oh, this is the Assassin's Creed everyone wanted. They wanted it in feudal Japan, and I'm like, hot take, I didn't want an Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. Like that
somebody
was not
that
on
happen,
my list.
Right? Someone's like, somebody, yeah.
That's not my Assassin's Creed game. So I'm like, I didn't even touch Shadows. I need a break from Assassin's Creed. So I'm looking forward to Ghost. But I played, at the beginning of the year, I played Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which is a fantastic Metroidvania. Yes. And
that's where game of the year last year for our goaties or couchies, whatever we call them.
Oh yeah. It was
next year. Yeah.
Freaking excellent. So great. And so when I saw this, when I saw the new Shinobi Art of Vengeance first get revealed, I thought maybe that was what it was going to. I've never played a Shinobi game.
There's a great Shinobi game on PlayStation 2, and I believe there's also a great Shinobi game on PlayStation 4. My son loves it to pieces. If it's still Shinobi, because I get them conflicted, but I believe it's Shinobi is these games where they really, really take heart of the classic action platformer versus going into a Metroidvania. So it's more of that style, but I think there is some Metroidvania.
I'd love that.
If you like that type of game, you'll enjoy it. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this demo then. I'm going to have to download it.
Or no, I'm thinking of Strider. There's an old game too, Strider on PS4, which was great. There was a great Shinobi game on PlayStation 2. We had this long scarf. It's hard. Some of these games just kind of meld in your mind.
Blend into each other. Yeah.
But this is great. So, and I'd love to play the Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, but once again, I don't know. If there's not a demo, then I got to buy it and we'll see. So I may just watch a review to see if it's really worth my time. But yeah, so there. And then lastly, we talked about arcades. That brings me back full stop to my goal is to build an arcade machine. And I've been talking about this for a long time. I bought one of the Arcade Legends Pro arcade. Basically, it's arcade deck that has 2 controllers, lots of buttons, and also one of those like golden tee balls you roll.
Okay.
So it comes with like a little dongle box, which kind of sucks though. So I'm going to get a mini PC. So they sell these awesome mini PCs now that are like, quite honestly, capable of running like Red Dead Redemption 2. Not the greatest resolution, but I'm just going to use it for like emulation of arcade games. So I've got that. So I'm going to get that. I have my board, my arcade board with controllers plus a stand. I've got I just ordered a mount where I'm going to put a 43-inch 4K TV I bought from Best Buy for $100.
What?
43-inch 4K TV. Yeah, it was the deal of the day. So it's I've got it. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And then I'm going to hook up this mini PC so then I can play all of the arcade games from my youth, and it's going to be awesome. So I love this. It's a challenge. I'm going to do it.
I can't wait to see how this turns out because I've wanted to buy those like arcade 1-ups.
Yes.
And like they had like NBA, but they're like, I mean, they're not $1,000, but they're like some of them push it like $799.
Yeah.
I want the Simpsons. I think they have a Simpsons one. I could be wrong about that, but I thought they had a Simpsons one. And I'm just looking. I see exact like there's a few things I have to move in my basement and a few things I think that needs to go to the dump. But
sure,
I got places, and I'm like, man, I have a vision. So I can't wait to see how yours turns out because
mine is the way
motivating.
To basically not be locked into one game or anything and having 2 players, and it's going to be a great way to just learn and have fun with it. And the way I've got it's going to be mobile, so I don't have to worry about being locked in. It's not going to be heavy. It's not going to be like 300 pounds to get in my basement. So I will show you pictures, Matt, and as I get this through, I'm going to figure out like, can I get art? Can I put like one of those cool like light up LED screens for kind of like something there? I can put art on the sides if I want, but this is something I've always wanted to do. But I'm like, do I really want to buy like an arcade box that is $800, is 700 pounds, but this is going to be easy because the mount is like 10 pounds and it has the TV in it, and I can move around anywhere in my house. It's easy to move around. I can put it anywhere. I want to put it upstairs, cool, I can do that, or I can put it in the corner. So It's going to be a fun time. Yeah, and I'm thinking about like having the background noise of the arcade in the background. So this is something I'm going to do. I'm going to probably have to reach out to people that know how to do this stuff because I know how to do it. It's just sometimes it's not as easy as you think. So, but I'm very excited for it. So we'll see how it goes. So that is what we've been gaming, folks. You know what? We're an hour in, and thank you for joining us. But we're going to get into the bonus round. So the bonus round, Matt, you said, hey, let's talk about gaming because I'm not an expert. I don't know everything. And I'm like, I don't either, but maybe we can learn a little bit more about fighting games. And I kind of proposed this as the topic. So I said, with Evo happening, it's a good time to talk about the history of fighting games, our history with them, and what fighting game we'd make. So with that, Matt, so we talked a little bit about our gaming history. So do you know what the first like fighting game ever was?
Crickets. Wow. No.
Okay.
No, I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. So realistically, the first fighting game, if we want to get down to it, was the original Street Fighter. So that
would have been my guess.
So that came out in, I believe, 1989. And that's kind of like where Final Fantasy was like, this is the Final Fantasy. If you don't get this right, you're going to be screwed. So they said, we've got something with Street Fighter 1 by Capcom, but it needs something. So then we got some talent that came in and basically said, we need to lean into the characters versus making the actual, like what you're doing important. It should really be the characters having personality, move sets, things like that. This is a world of fighters, and let's do that. Once that happened, the world blew up. It was just crazy. Street Fighter 2 was everywhere. Everybody had their favorite fighter. It really brought back the arcades. I mean, we talk about arcades have many lives, and this was the first one there. And then it basically said everybody that saw what, Street Fighter 2 was doing, brought it in. Then obviously you got your Mortal Kombats, you got your like Fatal Furies, SNK fighters, you got like those weird ones like the Time Killers games, you got all the knockoffs like the War Gods. Atari did things. You had the SNK games like Samurai Showdown. I mean, it was just crazy. There were so many fighter games. And then obviously we got those games being only at the arcade then came home. You didn't see many fighting games on NES. Really, there were none. I would say maybe Karate Champ, something like that, which was in their Yar Kung Fu, which was an old school, just kind of a throwback. But with the SNES and Genesis, you got the home version of Mortal Kombat, like you said. SNES, you had the Blood Code, Mortal Monday with Mortal Kombat. I remember in college, God Almighty, I was sitting in my dorm room and somebody was in the quad and they screamed out Mortal Kombat. I'm like, oh, here we are. We've come to that, and then it just blew up.
Yeah, so I had the SNES and I had a Sega Genesis, so I was definitely fortunate enough to have both.
You didn't choose sides.
I know there was no point, and I remember that Blood Code don't ask me what the code is, but I remember doing the Blood Code. But I remember owning the Sega Genesis fighter stick.
Oh yeah, 6 buttons.
Right? And it had the 6 buttons on it with the arcade thing. And me and my brother would freaking be going back and forth on who got to use the fighter stick. And man, that was so cool, being able to bring home what you saw in the arcade onto that big box TV. Because we had this huge TV downstairs. It was was it called the plasma TV? Am I wrong?
I feel like it was called plasma. There was if you wanted a pure black, you had, the rear projection screen TVs that were a big deal at the time too.
God, I don't even remember, but it was just this big box. And damn, we used to love playing Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat. And but was I good at them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was only good when I fought my brother, who was 5 years younger than me.
Yeah. And then, you had other games that were not fighters, but you had the Eternal Champions. You had those Final Fight games that were just more brawlers. So those existed. But really what then changed from there was Sega said, you know what, we're going to make a different type of fighting game. And that would be Virtual Fighter. Polygonal fighting. I remember when first time I saw that arcade game, it was crazy looking, and you had these bigger characters and they could move on a 3D plane. It was crazy. The fighting wasn't great. They looked very blocky. They looked very different than your traditional Street Fighter 3 Alpha or things like that. And then that led then to the emergence of other games like Tekken, we talked about it. And then it was how do you get these arcade games on home consoles? Well, you get the, I guess at that point it was the Sega Saturn, you got the PlayStation. And then at that point, the SNES wasn't going to cut it. So then N64. And then what did the N64 have? Killer Instinct.
Oh God. Rare, right? Killer Instinct?
Absolutely. It was the Ultra 64 in the arcades, which was then going to power Silicon Graphics. It was crazy combos. I mean, I sucked at that game, but it was so fun to watch.
I feel like I remember getting thrown off a rooftop and landing on a car or something like that in that game.
Somebody gets 85 combos in a row, and it's I haven't even been able to do one thing. And
it's God,
you're so good at this. How did you learn how to do this?
Especially on that terrible controller on the N64.
Oh yes. So I mean, that's kind of got us into where the arcades came home. So then you got those games like Tekken, and you got that. And then somebody decided to make a weird game with Nintendo mascots called Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers. And I remember the first commercial for this game. It was the song "Happy Together," where the mascots are, they were in the it was like Disney mascots of Mario and those guys. And all of a sudden they start beating the crap out of each other. I'm like, what is this game? And then you see the side scrolling where it's Mario versus Pikachu, maybe? I can't remember all the characters. There was 8 characters in that game, but it was crazy. And they reinvented a different type of game. So
different type,
call it a platform fighter. Yeah.
Well, a game that other companies and developers have tried to recreate and have had zero success doing it. And so I guess that brings us to, does that bring us to the question, that hot topic, is Super Smash Bros. A fighter?
Well, I think at this point we've level set. We've got Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. We've got I would say another level was when Soul Calibur
came
to the Dreamcast. It looks so amazing, but still, and kind of that same. Yeah, you can sidestep in the third dimension. Basically, it's a horizontal area. There's no verticality to the game, and you could get knocked off if you wanted. With like, I even think of like Dead or Alive, where that game on like the Xbox when that came out, that was their game where you could basically get knocked off the stage, but then you get dropped down to another stage.
Oh
that
yeah, okay.
But once again, you were no verticality. You weren't like going above. But Smash brought in verticality with platforms. Mm-hmm. You brought in all these odd like like power-ups and items and things like that, tripping, and it wasn't necessarily knocking someone, getting their health to zero. It was like getting their health to zero, but then doing the smash to knock them out.
Was there even a health bar?
There was it's like you had a percentage. You had to get it down. You got it down.
Right. So there was like not a health.
Knock them out. Yeah. Yeah,
we didn't have a health bar like in every single like arcade fighter.
They still weren't dead though. That was the thing.
Yeah,
they were still dead. You still had to get them
smashed off the grid. Oh, and then I don't know if it was only in the newer games, but you'd be able to hang on and throw yourself back up.
Or you're falling and how to get back up, and then characters like Kirby, where it's like he can just float forever.
I know, and I could never figure out how to do it. So it's like, it's like. The platforms and those platform mechanics, like you were able to do like the double jumps and stuff like that. It's like that you didn't have that in fighting games.
It totally changed it. So you have like, and this is where we talk about this. So I mean, trying to think of any other additions to this fighting world that we got that were majorly different. I would say not many, because then you've got variations of the same concept. So you have
I think one of the big differences in most fighter games and Smash was the fact that Nintendo turned what, Midway or Capcom or other, developers turned into a violent game, and Nintendo turned it into a party game. Like this was a complete chaos, like multiple characters all over the screen.
There's no like violence. It's just goofy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it just became like total like party chaos, and that you didn't see that in a fighter.
I mean, even Nintendo's approach to this was like, this is like a person that has toys, and they just, like as a kid, you'd make Captain America and maybe Iron Man fight or something like that. And that's the whole point, like Master Hand. He was a hand of a kid taking his little toys and fighting it. And you see that through the history of Smash, where it's changed. You had like different versions of Smash, and it's like, you've got like Super Smash Brothers. Then you have Super Smash Brothers Melee. Then you have Super Smash Brothers Wii. And then you've got Ultimate, and then the 3DS version, and then now you have Ultimate. No, Super Smash Brothers on the Wii U, Super Smash Brothers U. Then there was a 3DS version, and then it became Ultimate.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we have Ultimate, and I think my son has a lot. Other than character, because I feel like you had to buy character. Did you have to buy DLCs and stuff? I don't remember.
There was a DLC collection, right? That you got like different characters, and that was a big thing with Smash. They made it like a huge deal. Like, who's going to be the next character? And here's a video for it. Crazy.
So a lot of fun.
Yeah, apparently they don't even allow like it has to be a core video game character. It cannot be like a no Goku rule is what they call it. Basically, if it's a Dragon Ball Z is an animated character, he can't be that. So it has to be a core video game character. But that's where it became a scenario where like everybody's here with Ultimate. Like you got characters like Shovel Knight, which I have an amiibo, and that was a big thing with amiibo. You had to have them all,
right? And then you had like all of the like interactions between different games and different franchises. So didn't you have I feel like I have Cloud Strife.
You do, and then you've got Sephiroth, and you've got Minecraft Steve, and then you've got the Castlevania Bros, and I mean, I remember all the characters they brought in, and it's amazing. But then you've even got like the weird ones where they have the assist characters, which aren't amiibo; they're part of it, and they get to be part of the fun, which is cool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think you got like, the Wii Fit characters and stuff like that. just things that didn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Mr. Game & Watch. I mean, I remember those coming out. It's like, that's so goofy. Or Duck Hunt Dog. And it's like, what are we even doing? But it's fun. I mean, I love the fact. And I remember my son, he loved it so much. And I'm horrible at the game. I don't get it.
Absolute trash.
I get it. But what I would do to my kids, and I think you should take this example from me, play horribly, but mock your child like you're so good at it. Like, oh yeah, come on, bring it on. And it's like, it made my son laugh so much because he's like, Dad, you're horrible at this game. No, I'm not. I'm great. I'm just letting you win. I'm letting you win. Yeah.
We do tournaments and stuff, and my son has a friend or two right up the block, and they'll come over, and it's like, what is it, like 64 player tournament or whatever it is, and I get thrown out of the first round, and I got these 9-year-olds laughing at me, and I'm like, I really was trying. I really was trying. Why did I not win?
I feel bad when I lose, right?
When I get knocked off, I don't know how to get back up. How come you guys don't teach me how to get back up?
Exactly. Like, get good, Dad. And it's like, oh, you should use the GameCube controller version, or you should do this, because it's like, I'm like, that's not intuitive. So I told my son, and that gets us back to the whole point of Smash. So I said, is Smash a fighting game? And I feel like at this point, you have regular fighting games and you have Smash likes. Because I feel like Smash is so different. Yes, it is a fighting game, but you can't compare it to others because it does something that's different. The closest games you got, and it's funny because there's a history of Smash likes. You have, what is it, All-Star Battle Royale,
All-Star Brawl,
All-Stars.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Then you have the WB game.
Yep, and then you have the
Multiverses.
Yep. And then Nintendo All-Star Brawl or something like that has one.
You have Brawlhalla. You have, to your point, the Nickelodeon game probably that's like that. So I feel like there's games that just fit the Smash role, which is essentially characters that are fun, teaming up, coming in, knocking off a stage, and surviving that. And it's really more about goofiness and enjoying IP versus being and people say there's believe me, there is a skill set. I get that. It's not like I'm not denying it, but it's funny that with Smash, what is the game that people point to though for skill and tournaments? Matt, what is it? I'm asking you a question rhetorically, maybe.
I missed the question. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. So what is that? So I would say, even though we've had all of these, there's been how many Smash Brothers games? We've had all these other games, but what is the game that everybody keeps coming back with Smash that is considered the core game in that series?
I don't know.
Melee.
Oh.
That is the game they have tournaments on. And do you know how you can play Melee?
Oh, no.
You can't. They don't sell the game. It's not on Virtual Console. It's on a GameCube or a Wii, and you have to find a copy of a game, or you play it illegally. But my son says, "Oh yeah, Melee's huge." I'm like, but how many copies were sold, and how many can you there's 4 million copies of the game that were actually sold. It's never been available digitally, and it's not been resold. It's not in any NSO service. I'm hoping it comes to NSO because they relaunched GameCube, but it's the game people talk about. I'm like, but you can't be behind a game where you can't purchase it. People can't play it. The hardware isn't available.
It's the black market Smash Brothers game.
Exactly. This is like cockfighting with video games, right? It's illegal in the back den. Sorry, guys. You don't ask what cockfighting is. I don't endorse it.
No, my God.
We're probably banned now. Sorry, Matt. It's been a good time.
Man, my first show, and I'm already off the air. Yeah. You know what? And that's, well, I mean, I think that just proves the point is that's how little experience I have with Smash, let alone fighting games. But I've heard of Smash Melee, but I've never played it. I had a Wii, but at the time I had a Wii, I personally never had a reason to buy this game. Melee? So,
if you hope you find a copy, because it was on the GameCube, I'm the copies got really expensive, $120, $200. I'm who's going to play that when you can buy the Smash Brothers for the Wii? Apparently, everybody hates that game.
I don't even, and so with all of this debacle with Smash, and did we answer the question? Because I feel like
maybe not. Maybe
I'm gonna say because we had I can't remember who it was that wrote in and said basically fight me, but Smash is a fighter.
Oh, Matt Gill. Yeah.
And I'm gonna, and I
should go back to that point. I'll look it up and you.
Well, I agree. Like in the end, I know there's so much to a fighting game. But in the end, I would have to say yes. At its core, you select a character and you try to KO your opponent. You use a variety of attacks, use a variety of special moves. And I feel like that's fighting 101. That character loses, the other character wins. Next match. So I feel like at its core, Smash is a fighting game. With that being said, it's not in Evo.
No.
Or it's not in Evo anymore.
Correct.
So
I don't know if it ever was. I mean, maybe it was, but they basically said the only way you will get Smash Brothers is in a Nintendo verified tournament. And by the way, it will be Ultimate, a game we can sell you.
Yeah. Wow. So that's crazy because I mean, I was reading just maybe this morning, because Evo is huge. I mean, it's like a freaking presentation now. Like they made there was announcements. There's new Street Fighter 6 character coming out. They had Mortal Kombat stuff that they talked about. I think Guilty Gear Strive got some information. Like they are using Evo as like what would be like, maybe it's not like a PlayStation State of Play, but it's a full-fledged reveal and announcements type of weekend. So I mean, it's a big thing. If Smash came to that, I mean, I think that would be huge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking here at the Evo website. Sony bought them because they're like, this is really important. It's a part of a culture. Sony finally has a fighting game they're behind, which is Marvel Tokon, which is a big thing that is done by Arc System Works, which they have the license. Yep. Sony has a relationship. They've done this, and this game looks really cool. And it was funny because now that game is getting a lot of heat. We're going to get a beta. I signed up for it on the PlayStation, which is great. If you can look for it there, it'll be there. But they have Evo Japan in 2026, May 1 through 3. Evo USA in Vegas, June 26, 28, and they have Evo Singapore in 2027. So it's worldwide. They know their teams, what games work there. But this year was kind of crazy because we've talked about like some of these games that have been, heritage games, which was basically like, oh, it's going to be Mortal Kombat in this game or that game. And, but by the way, now we have an Invincible game, Invincible Versus, which is big.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Series.
Yep.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of like a tag game that you're bringing out.
I'm actually rereading that comic book series now.
Oh, Invincible's great. The Prime series is amazing. I wholeheartedly love that whole thing. Then we have like we said, Tokon. This is the basically tag team. I think it's 4-on-4, and there's some certain things right there. It's an anime flavored version of the Marvel characters, which is great. It looks good.
Looked really cool.
Fun. Yep, it's very fun. And then you also got the 2KXO fighter, which is essentially from the League of Legends team that's doing that. You've got Heritage Tekken 8. You've got Street Fighter 6. And then you've got some other the other Arc System Works teams, but also Street Fighter Alpha 3 is part of it. And that's like the number 4 game, which is great. I mean, talking about an old school game, but that game is now available on all those Capcom collections.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's amazing. We've got like the Capcom collection of like Power Stone, other things like that, all the Marvel games, which is great. It's just a shame that Nintendo will not play ball and get their fighting games available. Like they even have like Pokken Tournament where you've got Pokemon fighting the crap out of each other. You've got all of those Smash Brothers games, but you're not putting them on their service. So it's a shame because I mean, you want to grow your base, and the only time you get to play those games officially is with Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is great, but you got this weird core that wants to play Smash Brothers Melee in like a dungeon. And how do you play it with probably illegally, which is just sad. So
hence why they're playing in a dungeon, because they don't want to get found out.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a fake IP, the dark web. It's great. So with that, so I think we have settled that Smash is a fighting game. It's just a different type of fighting game. It's a Smash-like versus like your standard So I don't want to say like one is better than the other. It's just different. And I like one, and some people like the other. So it's great.
Yeah, agreed.
But with that, Matt, the last question I have is, what fighting game we'd make? Any franchise, any IP, any style, what would you make?
So, and I don't think my answer is, very sexy or anything like that. And it's been used before. So I do like, I like that idea of Smash using all of their iconic characters. I know PlayStation tried it with, they tried with, their all-stars. I feel though that with the success of maybe like Astrobot and, some of the things that have changed in terms of PlayStation, maybe they can try it again.
Sure.
They've got like a lot of characters. They got a lot of cool, a lot of cool licenses, a lot of cool IP under their belt. And I feel like one more try, I just don't know if that's necessarily the game for me, only because I'm not going for the fighting genre. Like, if I hear a Mortal Kombat's got a cool story, maybe I'll like get it on like one of the, like PS Plus has a Mortal Kombat game or Game Pass has a Mortal Kombat game. Maybe I'll play like the 2-hour campaign. But I just feel like I want to see one more shot at that like PlayStation All-Stars game. And now you have Xbox, who there's a lot of IP, there's a lot of characters now under their belt. Maybe it's not like a first party studio doing it. Maybe you are licensing it out to another studio that has that experience. I don't know who's making the game, but I want to see that with other characters. And again, not the sexiest answer. I know you've probably listened to it like a million other podcasts that have had that same response. I just feel like it's just the right response, But what about you? Well, I mean, do you have something in do you have something in mind?
Okay, I can go really dumb because I work for a CPG, consumer packaged goods company, with cereal icons.
Cereal.
We're like, hey, let's get the cereal mascots fighting each other. All of the food mascots fighting each other. That would be amazing. It's never going to happen. They can't just do it. So, but I'm going to bring
the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy to fight the little Cinnamon Toast Crunch guy.
Charlie Tuna. Maybe you bring the Cinnamon Toast Crunch guys. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you all about it. I work for General Mills, so the Monster cereals guys are coming back. It's going to be great. Love it with the Prince family. So I don't want to be a shill, but that's what I do. But I think about other ways we could do this. You know what? Sometimes you get rivals that become partners, and I feel like at this point, Sony and Xbox aren't fighting each other because, quite honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. There's just not enough battles anymore. So what if you said, hey, Iron Galaxy, who has done some awesome things to make the last Killer Instinct game, they've done some other things, but they say, you know what? Let's take the Xbox characters, let's take the PlayStation characters, and come up with a battle royale version. And it's all open. Think about all the characters you could bring in for fun. All the third parties that could just join in and have a good time.
All the fanboys getting together and trying to kill each other.
Yeah, it's your opportunity. Master Chief taking on Kratos. Awesome. You know what? Everybody wins. Nobody loses. And think about all the DLC you get. Oh my God. I just want to see cool. I just want to see like the Viva Pinata guys go after like maybe, I don't know, trying to think of, Kratos would be great, or Nate Drake. I don't know. Let's make it happen. Things are unlimited, and I think in these days there's some weird rivals. That's awesome. The other one I want to do is, rather than just an Injustice game or Marvel's Capcom, I want a DC versus Marvel fighting game.
Ooh.
Put
talk about fanboys.
Oh, it would be so amazing. It'd be so much fun. I love it. And I am a fan of those like campaigns, because that's what keeps me engaged. It keeps me going on. They do a great job of like, oh, you may not want to play with this guy, but you need to do it because you do that with Mortal Kombat and Injustice. So I would love that as well. And then just bring on, you know what? NetherRealms, WB owns it. Hey, you know what? Marvel works with Sony. It could really be cool to make this
It could
together.
work.
It could
Yeah,
really.
That would be cool.
Work. I mean, what does it hurt? It's money. Make some money, guys. We need that in video games.
A game like that would just print money. It's like,
and it goes
print
everywhere.
money, print money, take my money.
Everybody gets to do it. DC and Marvel teamed up to do comics. You know what? They've got new comic books coming out. Deadpool versus Batman is coming out again, guys. You know what? The walls come down in Berlin. We can make these franchises get along and have a good time. Because, we all know that Nintendo is the enemy. So let's be real. Sorry. That was my last poke of the bear. Banjo-Kazooie, the bear. Because nobody's touching banjo these days. Oh, well. Okay. Well, that is our focus on the world of fighting games. We don't claim to be experts, but you know what? If you are, let us know. We want to learn more, make us better, because that's what we want to do in this world. Make everybody better, have fun, and, train the next generation of fighting game masters, because, at this point, it's too late for us. Well, maybe not, man. I don't know. You and I could be like, hey, it's like Karate Kid, right? Or like, what is it? Cobra Kai, right?
Oh, yeah.
Take on. Yeah, exactly. It's not too late. So with that, Matt, you have completed your first episode of Co-op Mode successfully. We're not going to rate you, but at this point, did you have fun? And where can people find you?
Had an absolute blast. So thanks again for the opportunity. Again, you can find me on MKen10 on Blue Sky. I'm still on those mean Twitter streets as well as Threads. And I have a YouTube and Twitch channel, also MKen10. I stream every Tuesday night on YouTube and Twitch. And in those descriptions and in those bios, you can find my Discord. So if you want to hang out and chat games and even chat fighters, come on in.
Absolutely. And there will be all of the things found in the podcast notes to where to find Matt, his Discord, and all the fun there. So with myself, Todd Oxtra at Secret Fringe Unite on the Blue Sky, at T Oxtra at Secret Fringe Unite on the Threads, Instagram, and also on the Facebook. We do have a Facebook page. Go there if you want, but you know what? We're going to talk everywhere else. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our Patreon, of course. Matt, any parting words before we depart?
Just like I said, it was a pleasure hanging out with you, and I can't wait to couch co-op with you in the future.
Awesome. Remember, folks, it's always better to game together. Take care.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.